there's obviously also the selling off the NHS land and the selling off of public land as well. The selling off of public land and then, going and renting a place that you've built with other people's money and then having to charge them rent, and at the end of the of the loan, you haven't actually got the property that you started with. It's frightening. But
just to be clear, so people understand, up to 30 years of paying off far more of a hospital hemorrhaging money to these finance consortia.
And at the end of it, you don't actually own the hospital
they don't own anything. It's still owned by the consortium. So it's 30-year lease basically, and then you're still so it's designed to take hospitals which before were just financed from the Department of Health. Oh, you need this money for the year? This is what you get. End of story. Right? It's changed that into a massively bureaucratic process where they have balance sheets, finance departments, liaisons with the finance departments, and they're constantly hemorrhaging money because these aren't profit-making enterprises, right? So of course hospitals, especially PFI hospitals, which are built with these extortionate loan agreements, of course they're going to be hemorrhaging money, and that won't stop. And that means that you have a servitude via debt, which is why it's perfect that David Graeber, who wrote the book Debt, The First 5,000 Years, is featured so prominently in the film. He's the glue that helps to keep the various parts of the film together.
Yeah, it's somebody that I've become interested in since I saw that film, and it's that book Debt, The First 5,000 Years, is definitely going to be on my list to read. I just want to touch on this to wrap up, Mohammed. I can see. My eyes are open as to what's going on, and what I can see is we have built a system in the last 30 or 40 years through neoliberal policies on various various governments, both Labour and Conservative, that a system that services debt. And in order to service that debt, we are going to have to sell off our assets to do it, and we're going to have to keep doing it until there's nothing left. This cannot continue. It seems to me like they've built a financial system that's in the direct opposite of the system that crashed in the late 70s. This system crashed 10 years ago, and it's just been on life support ever since, with ever growing billions and trillions of dollars being thrown into it. And it seems like this is going to have to happen in their minds, the people that run this system, because the NHS has got a lot of money involved, and they need that debt. They need something to service that debt. And it seems to me like the NHS is their prime target. That's just my observation of it. I don't know whether you want to add anything to that, mate.
I would just say that as one of the people interviewed in the film points out, the NHS is a gold mine. It's worth directly and indirectly hundreds of billions of pounds sterling, whether it's the land that hospitals sit on that can be sold off for high-rise luxury apartments, half of which might actually remain empty for much of the year because land is treated as an investment rather than a public good, a public asset. Whether it's the big data that we described, right? Because knowledge and information is power, therefore that's worth a lot of money. Whether it's the privatization of the provision of certain healthcare services, right, where you get price gouged even though you might even have health insurance. So there's loads of money to be made. And so, yeah, that's why The Great NHS Heist is a film that should be watched. It should be shared. Email it to your friends, to your family. That's what I'm doing. I'm contacting as many people as possible, especially to watch before the election, because the whole point is the reason why the producers, Dr. Bob Gill and Drew McFadden, have made it freely available, even though it's cost them tens of thousands of pounds to make, right? So it's partly raised from crowdfunding, from GoFundMe, and then partly from his personal finance, is because they care about the subject, right? So they want as many people as possible to be informed when they decide to go and vote, or if they weren't going to vote, it might inspire them to take the time out of the day to vote, not because that will be the end, but because that can help chart a new beginning. So watch the film, share it, and go cast your ballot. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. I echo that Sincerely, go and watch the film. I'll leave the link in the description, and also, if you can, if you've got a few pounds to spare, donate to their GoFundMe. I have done that, and we just share it as wide as you can, and try and get as many people to watch it as possible. Mohammed Elmazi, thanks very much for your time today. I know you're a very busy man, and I really appreciate your time. Please tell everybody where they can find you and your work.
That's the interregnum.net, which is my own website. Otherwise, I contribute to thecanary.co, to Sputnik International, and at times the Grey Zone Project, or thegreyzone.com, as well as therealnews.com. Otherwise, you can just follow me on Twitter, which is M for Mohammed Elmazi.
Thanks very much for your time today, Mohammed. Proud to call you my friend. Support independent media, everybody. Let's make all well fiction again.
Thanks, Gordon.